We need to build a wall, and it has to be built quickly.
Good morning. It is 9:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'll tell you what, if I was picking somebody up, really not thinking about waiting in that cell phone lot. Well, I'm waiting right there at the curb. I heard your suggestions in the newscast, Joan.
Wasn't my suggestion. It was from BNA.
Not a fan. In fact, I haven't been impressed with many of the suggestions that are coming when it comes to air travel. I just haven't. Secretary Duffy, a war on pajamas? Listen, how about a war on ratty pajamas? I'm fine with that. Traveling in classy pajamas, that's a bit different.
See, but his reasoning is very clear, right? So if you're respecting the scene by dressing well, you're less likely to be a jerk to other people because you look better, you feel better about being there. You'll project a more professional person, and you'll probably not get hit by anybody else either.
But what I'm trying to project when I go to the airport is leave me alone. I'm not here for any small talk, and I want to be comfy cozy so I can fall asleep on this flight. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. I do.
That's what I'm working towards. That's my goal.
But see, wouldn't you rather sit next to someone and have a nice conversation about your kids, about the election? That'll be nice talk.
I can't say those are things I want to sign up for.
No.
I'll be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I've been in awkward conversations that last a whole flight, and it's like, please, for the love of everything holy.
Have you ever been the person that's sitting in the middle seat when the person on the other side of you is larger than life and just arms over the side?
Oh, and then it becomes armrest wars. You ever do armrest wars? I can't deal with this stuff. It's making me frustrated. Secretary Duffy, he wants nobody to be frustrated at the airport. He wants it to be a magical place of children's laughter and joy.
Some of you might have noticed that we've launched a civility campaign. And I think it's important as we travel that we think about not just ourselves, not just our families, but we think about those who are around us. And we call our better angels. In a busy time, and again, the airports are going to be packed. TSA lines may be a little longer.
Maybe.
And as you might not be able to find a seat as you're by your gate because of the number of flights that are going out or coming in. But I think we have to think about how do we do a better job? How do we maintain maybe some of that frustration we have as we travel this Thanksgiving season? Maybe we should say please and thank you to our pilots and to our flight attendants.
I will say this. Some of the nastiest people I've ever encountered at the airport have been TSA agents, gatekeepers, and flight attendants. In fact, that's where a lot of the headaches come from. Is there an internal memo that he put out for the flight attendants and those in charge of ticketing in the gates? No? I think that...
But are they just responding to the passengers who are rude to them?
I think, I don't know, not always. I think that should have been an internal memo. That's just me. He keeps going.
I think, again, I call this just maybe dressing with some respect. Whether it's a pair of jeans and a decent shirt, I would encourage people to maybe dress a little better, which encourages us to maybe behave a little better. Let's try not to wear slippers and pajamas as we come to the airport.
I'm not advocating for Cookie Monster pajamas. That's not what I'm advocating for. But a nice pair of sweats. Comfy, cozy on the flight. I'm here for that.
Athleisure.
I
think that's okay. Athleisure wear is fine.
Athleisure is the floor?
I think so.
Okay. Well, then, all right. Then why didn't he come out and say that?
Well, because he's seen too many people with their pajamas on and slippers. I mean, we've all seen it. It's disrespectful. Back in the day, Chris.
Tell me about back in the day, Joan.
Back in the day, people actually used to wear suits and dresses to get onto an airplane. Of course, they used to smoke on the airplane too, but that's a whole different story. But
100%. If I could smoke on the plane, I'll wear a suit.
Yeah. So people used to dress up to go on a trip. It was very special to be able to go to the airport and go take a flight somewhere. Not everybody could do it. Well, everybody can do it now. And it's just being treated like the welfare line. Like nobody cares.
Yep. No, I hear you. I do get what he's what he's trying to get across. I don't know. I feel personally attacked.
I was talking to passengers this morning about your civility campaign. They feel like it's putting the onus on passengers to create a more pleasant air travel experience. I know you're putting billions of dollars into this revamp for ATC to make that better, but can you talk about what you're doing immediately on your end to help with the air travel experience and talk directly to passengers here? Well,
so I would just tell you, yes, can everyone do a better job? Can TSA do a better job? Can we do a better job as we bring more air traffic controllers online and we get a brand new air traffic control system up and working so we have less delays and less cancellations? Yes. Those things. Can our airlines maybe do a better job on their end? But in the end, it's my responsibility to behave well.
I agree with that. Take personal responsibility. Did you see what happened at LAX last night?
No.
This would have sent my blood pressure skyrocketing. This would have, I understand that my behavior is my responsibility. This would have set me over the edge. Hundreds of protesters were in the street last night blocking an entrance to LAX. Do you know what they were protesting? They were airline catering workers.
What?
Airline catering workers protested outside LAX on Tuesday. The demonstrations caused a brief delay for those trying to get into or out of LAX. The protesting workers are accusing Flying Food Group of an unsafe working condition. Do you know what would not make me sympathetic to your cause? Making me miss my flight. You've lost me already, and I hope that the slave labor conditions continue. That's how I would feel if you made me miss my flight. A group of airline catering workers last night picketed at LAX. The protest was organized by members of Unite Here Local 11 and employees of Flying Food Group. Lasted nearly 2 hours, with the intersection closed for minutes before Los Angeles police and riot gear cleared the intersection. It didn't last that long, but it was chaotic. There's a video of this poor woman. She's got like 4 dudes beating on the hood of her car, and they're not letting her by. And she's like, I just need to make my flight. Can you please let me through so I can make my flight? And she's got, like 3 or 4 guys just standing in front of her. The video is up on the YouTube stream. I'm not going to play the audio because there's a healthy amount of F-bombs being dropped as these protesters were blocking the intersection. Do you see that?
I have just seen it. Holy cow.
No brakes, all gas, baby.
Yeah.
They're lucky that they did it in Los Angeles and not Florida.
The video stops too soon. I want to see them keep moving, just inch by inch, move.
I would have lost my mind.
Yep.
And LA's already an angry place. It's like, you know what I mean? The airline catering workers. Oh yes. Let me get right on it. I'm here for you guys.
So they're protesting what, their contract?
So workers said they're demanding a new contract, alleging unsafe working conditions, broken equipment, locked doors that create fire hazards, and unfair wages, according to union leaders representing the LAX airline catering workers. The demonstration is part of the push to hold Flying Food Group accountable. I would be so angry. The protesters also accused Flying Food Group of being cited in the past for safety and minimum wage violations. Honestly, people don't care about the people who make food and put it on their plates, said Susan Minato, co-president of Unite Here Local 11. We wanted to make a statement. Did you win anybody over, though? Did you win anyone over? Travelers heading to and from the airport expressed frustration as a massive backup formed. I'm going to miss my bleeping flight to Europe, one traveler yelled. Another passenger, Les Lukic, was trying to reach an off-site parking lot after returning from a trip. We were just commenting on how it was a smooth ride, easy to get home. And now this. I don't know what's going on. Some sort of strike. Nobody cares. Like, nobody knows why you're protesting. Nobody cares about why you're protesting. Get out of the road, you losers. I would have been furious. Would you have been furious? I would have been standing there in my pajamas, very upset. Vice President Vance is going to Fort Campbell today. We're going to be keeping our eyes on that. He's going to be giving a big old speech, and we're looking forward to that. A little Thanksgiving festivities from the Vice President, and we'll carry that live should it happen during the show. But they were talking about it yesterday on Fox News. The visit from J.D. Vance. This is, hang on one second. I got too much audio running. Pulling a Mandis. Let me close that. This is Fox News on the visit to Fort Campbell from Vice President Vance.
He'll be getting on his helicopter off to the airport and then making his way down to South Florida, where he'll be spending his Thanksgiving holiday at Mar-a-Lago. Vice President Vance expected to spend his Thanksgiving with his family too, but Brett, he'll also be making a stop tomorrow at Fort Campbell, Kentucky to thank service members for all they're doing for the country.
We're looking forward to that. Should the speech happen during this show, we'll cover it live. It's kind of like a flowing kind of day. Anything you guys want to talk about, 615-737-9986. I did love President Trump yesterday pardoning the turkeys. Did you see the pardoning of the turkeys? So this is just some inside baseball. Mason and I, this is what we do when we have a couple days off, because we got a couple days coming off. And so we'll pre-record the spots for our sponsors, because like we love our sponsors. We're not going to give them an old spot. We record a brand new one.
Yeah, brand spanking new.
Brand spanking new. So we're in there, and Mason and I can barely get through the commercials because we're just belly laughing about Donald Trump. So we'll get to the jokes, but
they're good.
This is the president yesterday pardoning some turkeys.
On behalf of the First Lady and the entire Trump family, I want to wish all Americans a very, very happy Thanksgiving. It's a great time of the year, and our country is doing really well economically, like we've never done before.
Yep, you got to put that in there. I do think that we're going to see some economic rebounding here in 2026. Personally, I think that the media is really trying to push this narrative of the economy crashing down around them, and we'll see what happens. But he pardoned the turkeys. He pardoned the turkeys. This is a big deal. Happens every year, and dude. So we didn't even get to all of these yesterday. Me and Mason when we were trying to do work. So this is. I don't think you heard this one. You ready for this?
I'm here for it.
This is President Trump on the turkey pardons from last year.
Before going any further, I want to make an important announcement, because you remember last year, after a thorough and very rigorous investigation by Pam Bondi and all of the people at Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA, the White House Counsel's Office, and the Department of Everything. We have a Department of Everything. You know what that is? I think that's called the White House. Into a terrible situation caused by a man named Sleepy Joe Biden. He used an auto pen last year for the turkey's pardon. So I have the official duty to determine, and I have determined that last year's turkey pardons are totally invalid. As are the pardons of about every other person that was pardoned other than, where's Hunter? No, Hunter's was good. That was the one pardon, Pam, that was good, right? The rest of them are all invalid. I don't know what the hell you're going to do about that, but now we're going to take a little of the joking. That is a mess.
He did this over and over. He's like, here's the joke that I wrote. Also, I'm being dead serious. And he goes at, he's going to pardon the turkeys next. We'll bring you that audio. And then he has some words for J.B. Pritzker, words that he would never use. Words that he would never use to describe J.B. Pritzker.
Never at all.
So my buddy sent me this last night, one of my friends who's in New York. And I said, how awesome is it that we get to be alive to witness a president like this? We'll never have another one like him. I'll bring you more from the turkey pardons on the way. Anything you guys want to talk about? We're gonna be flowing through the show today. So anything you want to talk about, 615-737-9986. We can change the topic. We can change the conversation, and we can let you guys decide where it goes. You're driving through the area. Welcome in. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, it's Chris Hand here from my friend Shane Ring over at Cover Nash. And if you're tired of health insurance that feels like math tests, who needs that? Confusing percentages, surprise bills, fine print that you need bifocals to read. Nobody likes that. Let's make it simple. Cover Nash has a brand new nationwide PPO plan that's going to give you the freedom to pick your own doctors anywhere in the U.S. No referrals, no red tape. We actually mean that. Just $250 deductible, flat $50 copay for any doctor, even specialists, outpatient surgeries, $250 copay, hospital stays, just $1,000 total, free preventative care. Not that you're going to be excited or thankful about a colonoscopy, but it's available for you. It's there. And here's the kicker. No surprise bills, no hidden fees, just real protection from real providers. If that's not the right fit, Cover Nash works with 75 top-rated insurance companies. They'll find something that fits your budget and your needs. Shane doesn't take days off. He's sitting at his desk right now. 615-465-0023. 615-465-0023. Pick up the phone, call Shane Ring today, or hit the website covernash.com.
Up ahead, THB says expect to see officers every 20 miles on the interstates today. Also, there's new information about the Chicago man who's been charged with lighting a woman on fire. All of that and more coming up here at 9:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. Hey, how are you? Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeart, tune in, the FM dial. You can watch us. Super Talk TV up and running on YouTube and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. We appreciate it when you do so. We were talking about President Trump yesterday. He's pardoning some turkeys. And he's the funniest president we've ever had. I don't think that there's any debate about that. We can debate about certain things when it comes to the Trump administration. There's things that deserve criticism. I'm not saying that there's not. He's obviously a better choice than Kamala Harris was, better choice than Joe Biden was, light years ahead of Hillary Clinton. I mean, we got the best guy for the job. Make no mistake about it. You can criticize some things, but I don't think there'll ever be anybody that's funnier inside the big chair at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue than this guy.
The turkeys being pardoned today go by the names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw their pictures, I thought we should send them, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people. I wouldn't pardon them. I wouldn't care what Melania told me. Darling, I think it would be a nice thing to do. I won't do it, darling.
I like that they call each other darling.
I picked up on that too. I think that's something that actually happens inside their house. I think darling gets thrown around.
Yeah.
I think darling gets thrown around. Bobby Kennedy came up too.
These are two of the largest turkeys ever presented to an American president, over 50 pounds each. It's the largest we've ever had. And those are big turkeys. Are they as good as the normal-sized turkey? Better or as good? Do they tend to be a little fatty, maybe? No, he said no. He knows the turkey business. Anyway, despite their size, Secretary Kennedy has formally certified that these are the first ever Maha turkeys. I don't know if I agree with that. These are Maha. In other words, they could be fat, but they're still Maha. They've been fattened on a steady diet of grass, beef, to allow the smoothies and all of the other things that they've been eating for this occasion. This was a really big occasion, but they've eaten every fattening food that you can eat. We wanted to really make them special, and they really are. They're like record-setting. I've never seen a turkey that big before.
It's a lot of fat talk. A lot of fat talk. He's allowed to call the turkeys fat, and he will, and he does call the turkeys fat. They're Maha turkeys, even though they're a bit fat. But you're allowed to say that about the turkeys. He would never say that about Democrat Governor J.B. Pritzker.
And I had a little bit of a Pritzker joke. I was going to talk about Pritzker in size, but when I talk about Pritzker, I get angry because he's not letting us do the job. So I'm not going to tell my Pritzker joke. They have a very cute little joke, you know. Some speechwriter wrote some joke about his weight. But I would never want to talk about his weight. I don't talk about people being fat. I refuse to talk about the fact that he's a fat slob. I don't mention it. On a more serious note, as we gather around the dinner table, I'd like to lose a few pounds too, by the way.
I don't mention
And I'm not going to lose it on Thanksgiving, I can tell you that. Because I'm going to have a turkey, but it's not going to be that one.
Okay.
I didn't hear that second part. That's good. It's not going to be that one.
It's not going to be that one. Maybe it'll be the turkeys from last year with the invalid pardons from Joe Biden. It's 9:30. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Heading over the river and through the woods today for Thanksgiving. Well, you can expect a lot of company on the roads, and Tennessee Highway Patrol posted every 20 miles on the interstates. Here's Colonel Matt Perry.
We need your cooperation to achieve our goal. I'm asking every single driver to commit to 3 things: buckle up, slow down, and don't drive distracted. Check your speed, put your phone away, and always ensure every passenger is properly restrained.
Today and Sunday are expected to be the busiest days on the roads. New details about an attack on a Chicago train that left a young woman fighting for her life. Suspect Lawrence Reed, previously arrested 72 times. he was under electronic monitoring.
Court documents seen by our Chicago station, WLS, reveal that Reed violated his curfew several times in the days before the attack. And on November 17th, an alert went out that he had violated his curfew, but hours later, he allegedly carried out that attack on the train. A judge overseeing the electronic monitoring program says, "We're reviewing all actions taken in this case to ensure procedures were followed."
ABC's Rena Roy, what's not clear is if the judge who freed Lawrence Reed will be under investigation for her actions. Early voting ends today for the voters in the highly contested 7th Congressional District. House Speaker Mike Johnson says getting Matt Van Epps into the now vacated seat in the 7th Congressional District is important to Republicans in Congress.
There's no question. On many key votes coming up over the next several months, Matt Van Epps will be the hero. I mean, he will be the deciding vote. There's no question about it. And it will make all the difference for the entire country.
Speaking yesterday on the Matt Murphy Show, he's pitted against Democrat Afton Bain. 7th District voters in 14 counties, including Davidson, Montgomery, and Williamson, can still vote early today, or you can vote in person on Election Day. That's Tuesday, December 2nd. That is the latest news. We've got your weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, real quick, last day of early voting today for that race in the 7th. I got a text here from one of our best listeners, Jason. He said was voting in Clarksville this morning. There's a line outside to vote in Clarksville.
Nice.
But here's the thing. He said inside that line were some wackos with masks on.
Oh, boy.
Who do you think the wackos with masks on are voting for? If you haven't voted yet, early voting ends today. Make sure you get out there and do it. Hey, it's Chris Hand here for my friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. And if you're tired of back pain or knee pain messing up your holiday season, the Wellness Institute of Nashville is going to take care of that for you, and they're not going to break the Christmas budget. Just $12. The Big Daddy Trump special is going to land you a full exam, x-rays if needed, a well-explained diagnosis, and your first treatment. Only $12. Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Ashley, they want you to be back to a pain-free life for the holidays. They're not looking to break the bank. They're not looking to ruin the budget. They're just looking to fix what ails you, and it could be anything. Back pain, neck pain, sciatica, numbness, bulging disc. They'll treat it all without painful injections, without surgery, without opioids. They're going to focus on non-surgical spinal decompression, state-of-the-art non-surgical spinal decompression, robot lasers, anti-gravity machines, no surgery, no injections, no opioids. Grab your MRI, get ready to finally understand your condition, and fix it. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, or find them online, painisbad.com. Pete Hegseth speaking earlier. They've gathered all of the top generals in the entire world, brought them to Quantico and said, stop being fat and gay. Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's generally the message that we're getting.
No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. We are done with that shit. Standards must be uniform, gender neutral, and high. Frankly, it's tiring to look out at combat formations, or really any formation, and see fat troops. Likewise, it's completely unacceptable to see fat generals and admirals in the halls of the Pentagon. But if the words I'm speaking today are making your heart sink, then you should do the honorable thing and resign.
Stop being so fat and so gay. Let's focus on the mission. If you can do the job, you're welcomed here. No matter your sexual orientation or your skin color, but we're getting back to merit.
and I had a little bit of a Pritzker joke. I was going to talk about Pritzker and size, but when I talk about Pritzker, I get angry because he's not letting us do the job. So I'm not going to tell my Pritzker joke. They have a very cute little joke, you know. Some speechwriter wrote some joke about his weight, but I would never want to talk about his weight. I don't talk about people being fat. I refuse to talk about the fact that he's a fat slob. I don't mention it. On a more serious note, as we gather around the dinner table, I'd like to lose a few pounds too, by the way. And I'm not going to lose it on Thanksgiving, I can tell you that. Because I'm going to have a turkey, but it's not going to be that one.
No, that turkey was pardoned. It's 9:39, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by our friends at Better Water LLC. Water filtration systems, water softeners. You get those at betterwater.com. President Trump yesterday was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious while he's pardoning the turkeys. It wasn't all jokes, though. He actually, when he said, I had a J.B. Pritzker joke and I was going to tell it, but I'm afraid I'd get angry. He did actually get angry when he was discussing the state of Chicago. It's a mess. I don't know if you know this. It's an absolute mess. And he was talking about Bethany McGee, who was the 26-year-old woman who was lit on fire on a train in Chicago. And this is when the president kind of loses his cool, and he's rightfully upset. Like the president has every right to be pissed off at J.B. Pritzker and at the Democrats for what they've done in Chicago and how they refuse his help. President Trump he got a little bit angry during the turkey pardoning.
You saw all the crime that took place last night, the night before. The woman with the burning, they burned the woman. To be talking about that now, they burned this beautiful woman riding in a train. A man was arrested 72 times. 72 times, think of that. And they'll let him out again. The liberal judges will let him out again.
He's not lying. He's not lying. Mayor Brandon Johnson has literally been on the record saying we can't jail our way out of violence because that's racist. So let's let this guy that we've arrested 72 times out of prison because why not? And then let's be stunned and shocked and dismayed when he lights a 26-year-old beautiful woman on fire on a train. President Trump, he gets a bit angry.
But we're ready to go. We've been moving toward Chicago. We have a governor that thinks it's wonderful that only like 7 people were killed this week. But we are moving toward doing, and we're going to, if crime gets, it's horrible what's happening in Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. In a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly. Make Chicago, we'll do the same thing as we did in D.C., the same thing as we did everywhere we've gone.
But herein lies the problem, especially for big Democrat-run cities. And this is something that they don't often talk about, but we'll talk about it here. There's a lot of federal funding that gets placed in these big cities for the crime. So like in April 2024, there was a $78 million initiative announced to combat Illinois, for Illinois to combat violence. This is federal money flowing into the state, $78 million. If President Trump comes in and he cleans up the crime, that money starts to dry up. There's an evil reason, I believe, why they don't want to clean up the crime in Chicago. And it's the same reason why we see a lot of the homeless issues in the western part of the country not clearing up with money being thrown at, because people start getting money thrown at problems and then they don't want that money to go away. There's an incentive to keep that money flowing in. If you get rid of the crime in Chicago, you get rid of the federal grants to fight crime in Chicago. Can't have that. So let's let these guys out. Let's let this man out who has been arrested 72 times, and let's act stunned and shocked when he lights a poor woman on fire on a train. It's insane. U.S. Transportation Secretary Duffy said this would have never happened if this thug had been behind bars. Yet Chicago lets its repeat offenders roam the streets. Suspect was Lawrence Reed, 50 years old, facing federal terrorism charges in connection with this fire attack. Chicago's carelessness is putting the American people at risk. No one should ever have to fear for their life on the subway, Duffy said, lambasting the Windy City's soft-on-crime policies that let a dangerous convicted felon roam free. Reed approached McGee, who was sitting with her back to the crazed man on a train in downtown Chicago, 9 p.m., November 17th, according to the criminal complaint. He then removed a cap from a bottle of liquid, pouring it all over her head and body. She tried to flee. He caught her and set her ablaze. Insane. Engulfed in flames, she somehow managed to exit the train before collapsing on the platform, and that was when Good Samaritans stepped in to help her. She was rushed to the hospital, critical condition, according to the complaint. Reed was spotted on surveillance footage at a Chicago gas station purchasing gasoline, which he put into a plastic beverage bottle 20 minutes before the attack. He was arrested the next day, hit with federal terrorism charges, which would make him eligible for the death penalty if convicted. 22 prior arrests since 2016 alone, 53 criminal cases in Cook County dating back to 1993, 9 of them felonies for which he pleaded guilty, officials said. However, here's the funny part. He's only served time twice. Spending just 2.5 years behind bars in total, according to CWB Chicago. 9 felonies, 72 prior arrests, 2.5 years. 2.5 years in prison. It's insane. It's wild. President Trump has every right to be pissed off. And it keeps coming. There's story after story. They want to clean up the illegal immigration in Chicago. Well, Democrats are pushing back against that. Democrats are not allowing this. You get a story yesterday from Breitbart News. 2 Venezuelan migrant teenagers were charged with the murder of a homeless man in Chicago over the weekend, according to a report. The migrants, the illegal aliens, are now killing Chicago's homeless. Wow. CWB Chicago reported this. The charges were revealed in a detention proffer filed by prosecutors. Assistant State Attorney Todd Kleist claimed in a filing that one of the teenagers, identified as Juaniquer Rodriguez Vasquez, 16, has no local criminal record, but had prior law enforcement contact in Texas in 2023. The other migrant, illegal alien, was reportedly charged with first-degree murder in juvenile court and was a 14-year-old boy. Per the outlet, the 2 boys, along with another 14-year-old who was charged with robbery in juvenile court, were among a group of illegal alien migrants that attacked Bradley O'Byrne, 49, and they killed this homeless guy. They killed him. You can't arrest your way out of this, says Mayor Brandon Johnson. These issues aren't going away by jailing people. That's crazy talk. How would that fix anything? He literally said this yesterday or 2 days ago, MSNBC. This was Mayor Brandon Johnson.
We cannot incarcerate our way out of violence. We've already tried that, and we've ended up with the largest prison population in the world without solving the problems of crime and violence. The addiction on jails and incarceration in this country, we have moved past that. It is racist, it is immoral, it is unholy, and it is not the way to drive violence down.
It's racist, it's immoral, it's unholy. Let's let these guys out so that way they can light people on fire on the trains. Let's let them out so that way they can murder homeless people in the streets of Chicago. Because putting them in prison is racist, immoral, unholy. How would you describe lighting people on fire? You know, the black guy that lit the 26-year-old white girl on fire, was that also racism, or does it only work the other way around? Just asking for a friend. Is that also unholy when a group of migrants murder a homeless man in the streets of Chicago? Can't arrest your way out of it. Paging Nayib Bukele from El Salvador, please. He actually showed that you can arrest your way out of these problems. It's exactly what jails are for, to put the most horrific, horrendous people away so that way they can't ruin society for everybody else. Can't arrest your way out of it. That'd be racist. Might as well let them back on the streets to do what they do. It's insane. It's insane. J.D. Vance commenting on social media yesterday, and he talks about a lot of things, and we're gonna talk about some of this in the tweet on the way. But he does bring up Chicago as well. Listen to this. After 4 years of house prices doubling and in some areas tripling, many young people feel priced out of the American dream of homeownership. A welfare fraud scandal in Minnesota reveals that large numbers of new arrivals aren't assimilating and are funneling tax dollars to literal terrorist groups. We're talking about Somalia in Minnesota. We'll talk about that on the way. An innocent woman was set on fire in Chicago as the mayor resists federal law enforcement resources to bring peace to one of our great cities. The Obamacare insurance system is buckling under its own weight. The country is $38 trillion in debt. Our administration is working hard on addressing all of these problems. But you know what really fires up the Beltway GOP? Not any of the above. Instead, the political class is really angry that the Trump administration may finally bring a 4-year conflict in Eastern Europe to a close. I'm not even talking about the substance of their views. Much of what these people have said about the Ukraine war has been proven wrong, but whatever, we can agree to disagree. But the level of passion over this one issue when your country has serious problems is bonkers. It disgusts me. Show some passion for your own country. I wish that our friends in Chicago would show some compassion for the citizens of Chicago. Sean in Lebanon, retired cop out of Chicago, calls in anytime we're mentioning the Windy City. What's up, Sean? How are you?
Good, Chris. Happy Thanksgiving almost, bud.
Hey, man. Happy Thanksgiving. What do you got?
Well, I'm driving up there now to go see family, which is, I can feel the stress coming back already. Talking about the incident with the woman set on fire with the 72 arrests, at times dealing with the Cook County justice system in the state of Illinois, it was like dealing with Dean Wormer and Faber College in Animal House.
Right.
You know, you're on double secret, triple secret probation. We would arrest people with probation and parole for pick an offense, armed robbery, burglary, whatever, and pick them up for new charges on those same type of crimes. And they wouldn't even violate their probation or parole when they're catching fresh cases.
It's insane. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in my thought that one of the reasons they don't want to solve the crime problem is because of all the federal money that pours into the city to help them with the crime problem?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, let's say, and again, you threw a number out there. I want to say it was 70 million, 78, whatever it was.
Yep, from April of 2024. So that was just one grant.
Yeah. So what the politicians in Chicago have become very good at is reallocating. So they'll, if they're getting $78 million for the grant, they'll use the minimal amount necessary to comply with the grant, and then they create an emergency and say we need to reallocate the funds for B now or C. How they get away with it, I still don't know. I mean, you shake your head because Mayor Brandon Johnson talking about how arresting people and putting them in jail is racist, but yet geographically, if you're looking at the city of Chicago map, on the far southeast side on the border of Indiana is the 4th district, which is one of the largest geographical districts in the city, and has 140 officers assigned to it now, over 3 shifts. And his security detail has 150 people assigned to him on a daily basis.
Insane.
So his family's safe. All those that live in Austin around him aren't, because that district has even less people assigned to the district than his security detail. But yet they're accounting for, between the Austin and Harrison district just east of there, they're accounting for probably 30% of the homicides in the city.
And
they can't get the resources.
And Brandon Johnson has the audacity to go find a podium and tell you that arresting people is immoral. Putting them in jail is unholy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, consider what you're dealing with. Everything's racist to him. ShotSpotter was racist, but the number of people that we found wounded from gunfire as a police officer from the ShotSpotter system prior to the first 911 call and the number of people we saved, I mean, it shakes my head, you know, in the logic that he would even get rid of a system like that.
Well, and he called it racist, and I'd be willing to bet that the people that you were saving because of the shot spotter system were black teenagers.
Oh, I mean, black teenagers, you know, Hispanic teenagers, depending on the area of the city. I mean, I was still a lieutenant assigned to the Ogden district when the shot spotter system went off, and was almost rear-ended by the car that was getting shot at. And I had a 52-year-old man hug me and cry like a baby the day I was walking out of 51st and Wentworth, which I know, you know, the location means nothing to you, but it's an area headquarters where the detectives work, saying, you know, because of you, I'm able to go view this lineup and you know, potentially ID the guy that shot me.
Wild.
You know, from the shot spotter system, from putting tourniquets on his leg, because I mean, this man was a dark complected black man, and he was ashen gray and dying before me, and you know, because of that system, we saved him.
Yep, but it's racist and evil, Sean. Hey, man, I appreciate you calling in. As always, have a great Thanksgiving with you and your family. Appreciate you calling in, as always.
Same to all the hands and all the crew at 99.7.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. It is 9:55 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand, and I got to tell you about my friends at the Glock store. The big Black Friday sale is 2 days away, and they're extending it. Super Saturday is also going to be a thing at the Glock store. This is going to be unbelievable. It's going to be so much fun, and we want you down there. Now, here's a pro tip. Go to the website, glockstore.com, and then click on Black Friday deals. Start building your list now. When you build your list online before you go there, the store will do the shopping for you, and then you can focus in on all the fun that's happening at the Glock store on Black Friday and on Super Saturday. There are going to be a ton of giveaways. Everything is going to be on sale, including a special deal on a special Glock at a price way too low to mention. I'm not even allowed to tell you on the air. You got to go to the Glock store to see it, to believe it. But when you're shopping online, build that list. Have the staff at the Glock store purchase everything for you. All you got to do is show up and grab your stuff. You won't be distracted during the giveaways. You can relax, get a great meal from Uncle Bud's food truck. And then you're going to have an awesome time. So just to recap, deals on everything, including Glocks, all-day raffles, great prizes, Uncle Bud's food truck, and more. This is happening Black Friday and Super Saturday for the sale. Minutes from the airport, worth the drive from anywhere.
morning, 10 o'clock now, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. This is the last day voters can cast a ballot in early voting for the special election in the 7th District. Now, early voting closes at noon in some places like Williamson County, 4:30 in others, including Davidson County. House Speaker Mike Johnson on the choice between Republican Matt Van Epps and his challenger on the left, Afton Bain.
This is what happens. The reason that you get these radical leftist candidates elected in these one-off elections around the country is that just common sense conservative regular Americans are not paying attention in these special elections. We got to make sure everybody knows.
Speaking with Matt Murphy yesterday. Now, while early voting will end today, you can still vote in person on Tuesday. That's December 2nd for the special election. And an uncomfortable read on the outcome of that election. An Emerson College poll of likely voters released this morning has Matt Van Epps winning, but only by 2%, and that's within the poll's margin of error. President Trump won that district by 22%. Turnout is going to be a big factor. Tennessee is expected to break a record for Thanksgiving travel this week.
AAA says a record 1.9 million Tennesseans are going at least 50 miles away from home this Thanksgiving. 1.8 million driving, 51,000 are flying. Peak congestion is expected today and Sunday, so plan for delays. Experts recommend traveling early in the morning or late at night to avoid the worst traffic. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
And those driving are going to catch a break. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
As for the roughly 73 million people hitting the roads this Thanksgiving, some good news. Gas prices have dropped below $3 a gallon in 29 states, nearly the lowest prices in 4 years.
But storms are greeting some travelers. Blizzard conditions are possible in some parts of the country. Still no sign of Travis Turner. He's the head football coach at Virginia High School who disappeared last Thursday when police were headed to his home to speak to him. ABC's Mola Lengi says he's now considered a fugitive.
Turner, the head football coach at Union High School for nearly 15 years, was awarded the 2021 Prep Football Coach of the Year. Now considered a fugitive, wanted on multiple counts of possession of child pornography and using a computer to solicit a minor, according to state police. Authorities say Turner disappeared as agents were heading to his home on Thursday during the early stages of an investigation.
Virginia State Police say there are more charges pending as well. And we're learning that California is now scrapping a new 911 system already costing more than $450 million for taxpayers. That project was supposed to modernize the state's antiquated 1970s era emergency system. It collapsed over claims that it simply wouldn't work. California says it's going back to square one, and taxpayers will foot the bill again for another 911 system, but it won't be ready until 2030. That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
It's 10:07 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm giggling.
Giving you a little chance to recover there. Nice.
So, Joan walked into the studio to say Happy Thanksgiving to Mason, and then she gave him a hug. And we have an intercom button, so like I can talk to Mason in his room. And so as Joan goes in for the hug and they embrace, it was so sweet. I come over the intercom and I said, be careful. She's giving you COVID and diarrhea in there.
And I immediately pulled away. I was like, no.
Happy Thanksgiving. A gift from Joan Jones.
Yeah. Sick all weekend.
You doing anything fun for Thanksgiving?
I'll be working here for a little bit of it. And
Let's
then getting to see some family that's coming up from Georgia, which will be nice.
Awesome. Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
I'm
cool.
excited. What about you?
We're going to have my sister and her kids coming up from Alabama.
Fun conversations.
Oh, it's the best. And then we have like some weird traditions.
Oh, yeah?
So we don't do the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. It's a little bit too highfalutin for us. We watch the Detroit Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah, ever since you mentioned that, what was it, last week? I've been like considering trying to find it so I could watch it.
WDIV in Detroit. You can download the app on your Roku TV. It's the best Thanksgiving Day parade in the country. Nobody gives it enough credit, and we have it on.
But I got to download an app?
Got to download the app.
It's just not on TV?
No.
Lame.
Well, I mean, it's on TV in Detroit.
Well, yeah.
I don't know, man. It's like I became such. That's where we had our first kid, was in Detroit. So I became such a sucker and an emotional sap at that moment.
That makes sense.
And so like we've stuck with those traditions.
Yeah, you've got the nostalgia tie, so that makes a little more sense.
So we watched the Detroit Thanksgiving Day parade, which is the best Thanksgiving Day parade. Then we'll roll into the dog show.
Oh yeah.
We always do the dog show. And then we'll watch some Detroit Lions football.
You put bets down on those dogs?
Do we bet on the dogs?
Yeah, do you bet on the dogs? Like that one's winning.
Well, we should do some side action this year.
Yeah.
Like first dog to poop during the display.
Find it on Polymarket.
I bet you there is. I wonder if there's any dog show bets on Polymarket. Dude, you got me down a rabbit hole.
That's what I'm good for. That's all I'm here for.
I guarantee you there's Polymarket dog show bets.
Yeah, probably. If not there, FanDuel for sure.
There has to be. No, I don't see any. There should be some prop bets. Like which dog, how soon into the dog show will a dog hump another dog?
Yeah. Which one falls asleep first?
It's got to be some side action.
Which one takes a dump?
Yeah, which one? Yeah, it has to.
Right.
How far into the show?
Yeah. Setting time limits, closer you are, the higher the winnings.
Oh, we should do that. I'm going to do that with the kids.
That'd be fun.
Make it a little interesting.
Do non-food colored candies as the prize. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do in your house?
I don't know. Just say, here's a get out of jail free card for the next time you get sent to timeout.
Oh, timeout. I thought you were actually going to be like, yeah, no, if you ever go to jail, I got you.
Well, no, I would do that. I would do that anyway.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm bailing my kids out. And there's very few crimes that I would turn them in for.
That's fair.
Because they're my kids. I give them a stern talking to, though.
Except for Hunter, because it wasn't with the pen.
Except for Hunter. That's the only pardon that counts. We got a lot to get to. It's a fun day. We can talk about anything you want to talk about. 615-737-9986. If you're driving through the area, this is your first time listening to Super Talk, welcome. You can listen to the show anywhere. iHeartRadio, TuneIn, or the FM dial. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV. We're on YouTube and Rumble as well. Every digital platform comes with a share button. If you can help us share the show and grow the digital footprint of the radio station, we would appreciate that. If you're just passing through the area and you've never listened to the show before, welcome. We do this 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and we got the best, I'm telling you, the best conservative talk radio station in the country from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. every single day. We are live and local, and we're talking about things that people don't want to talk about. Early voting is still going on today. You got to get out there and support Matt Van Epps. President Trump put out a tweet yesterday. This doesn't happen very often, and you have to think it's because they're a little bit nervous. They're a little bit nervous. Afton Bain is only 2.5 points behind in the early voting. In the polling. Early voting is going on now. Donald Trump took to Twitter yesterday. Saying, I'm asking all America First patriots in Tennessee's 7th Congressional District who haven't voted yet to please get out and vote for MAGA warrior Matt Van Epps. November 26th, the last day to vote early in person. You can win this election for Matt. Please vote for Matt Van Epps, who has my complete and total endorsement. Polls close at 12 noon in most of Tennessee's 7th District, and every vote counts. If you're in line by 12 p.m., stay in line. They must let you vote. Tennessee 7, early voting ends November 26th, and Election Day is December 2nd. Get out and vote for Matt Van Epps. He will never let you down. Here's the thing. It's not just about you. You may know that early voting is ending at noon, okay? But call your friends. Do they know? Call your neighbors. Figure it out. If you can't vote today, the election is going to be held on the 2nd. We need you to get out there. We need Matt Van Epps to win. You know who's out there working today? You know who's out there not taking any time off? It's one Afton Bain. She's out there with all of her crazy, and she's working. She's knocking on doors, and she's trying to make it happen. This is Afton Bain just a few hours ago posting this to, I don't know, something. I think it was her TikTok, but she posted on her X account as well.
Good morning, everyone. State Representative Afton Bain, the 7th Congressional District Special Election Democratic nominee. It is cold, which is why my coat is so dramatic here in Nashville, but I will...
It's not that cold. It's not. Just let the record show, the only thing dramatic is Afton Bain.
Woke up with the energy of 1,000 Dolly Partons and decided to go canvas because a new poll dropped showing us about 2 points behind my opponent, which is wild. And I've got the election excitement wiggles, as I do. So I decided to jump out of bed, go out and canvas. It's the last day to early vote across the district. So as you are preparing for Thanksgiving, please head to the polls. In some places, polls close at 12. In Davidson County, it's a little longer than that. And if you are coming home from college, guess what? You have the opportunity of a lifetime to flip a congressional district. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to come home. You're going to hug mom and dad. You're going to kiss your pug, kiss the dogs, and then you're going to figure out where to vote. If that you need information, go to iwillvote.com. Find your polling place and head out to poll. And then sign up for a canvassing shift this weekend. We've got a day of action on the 29th. It's going to be so much fun.
All right, I've heard enough. I've heard enough that I can take from Afton Bain. She's out there. She's putting in the work. She's on the Boot Leather Express. She's canvassing. Can you not make a phone call to a friend in the 7th District and say, have you voted yet? The Democrats are working overtime. Can you put in some work? Can you text a friend? Can you make a phone call? You should. You should. Brian in the borough on Afton Bain. What's up, Brian?
Dude, you just set a record answering me. You almost answered the phone yourself, didn't you?
Hey, listen, sometimes with the way Mason produces the show, I feel like I should.
Dude, you have to do what you have to do. I heard a black comedian say that something. I do what I have to do when I can do it.
So, they don't think it'd be like it is, but it do, Brian.
That's right. You know how it be. One of the things about the racism is I've always found in my long life, I think I've been given a long life by God, is that the people that want to label you racist or say stuff about racism to you on a negative note they're the biggest racists I've ever seen. I've never, and you find that out sometimes later because you don't know people,
Yep.
Things are said, and especially like you may have grown up. Did you grow up in Detroit?
No, I grew up in Lowell, right outside of Boston, Massachusetts, Lowell, Massachusetts. But we had our first daughter in Detroit. That's why it's got a soft spot in my heart for Detroit.
I get it, and it's been a raggedy city. It was killed by crime and allowed to run ragged. And then you were a hip hop guy, so you dealt with people. But I'm just saying, you deal with a lot of people out there that want to label, even the Afton Bain. Oh my God! I mean, she's a psycho. I think did I hear you say yesterday you wouldn't label her a psycho, but you would say a lot of other things?
No, I'd labeled her a psycho. I'm happy to label her a psycho. Listen, I'm just here to be honest. And you hear this woman who says that she dreams that she stands up in the middle of a cafeteria with women and she says, "I don't want kids. I want power." Believe her, that is a psycho, and you can see it when you look at her eyes. The eyes always give it away.
Well, okay. Well, my ears played a trick on me because I was thinking that don't sound like him. He must be doing drugs today.
No.
Hey,
no.
Can I do 2 commercials? You're having Uncle Bud come to the Glock store.
Yes, sir.
Black Friday. That's my brother and my nephew.
Really?
And they also own D-Bat, which I know you patronize also. In
Yeah, we
Murfreesboro.
love D-Bat.
Okay, well, look them up if you're there. I don't know if you'll be around, but it's Craig and Morris, and they're good guys. And I've told them that you guys are advertising, and they're like, no kidding, we hadn't talked to the radio guy. And I said, well, you need to call in.
Yeah,
So,
man, they got to get on the phone, man. We love D-Bat. My boys train there in Murfreesboro, and I think they have some camps going on this week as well. If your kids like baseball, we do everything there. We're doing birthday parties there. We're doing all the stuff.
Yeah. Well, I've heard you say that, and it just took off. You know, they had an Uncle Bud's in Murfreesboro that didn't make it through COVID. He just couldn't hire people. But I've heard you mention those two, and I thought that's my family. So shout out to them, right? Thank you so much.
Hey,
have a great Thanksgiving. You and your family. I hope y'all are safe and healthy.
You too, Brian. I appreciate you, man. God bless you.
Thank you. Yep.
So you want a Detroit story? So Detroit does have a soft spot in my heart. It's because of having my daughter there, and we lived there for 2.5 years. And so not an extended period of time, but I was doing music radio while I was there. And I was very in tune to the hip hop community there, and I like hip hop. You guys know that. That's how I got my start in radio. But so I'm working with Turning Point USA, okay, and we're doing the big People's Convention in Detroit. And I said to them, "You need to get Trick. You need to get Trick on the People's Convention." And all of my Turning Point people laughed at me. And they said, we can't, nobody knows who Trick is. And I'm telling you, if you're going to be in Detroit, then we need Trick because you got to check in when you come to Detroit. This is a big thing. If you're a hip hop guy, you got to check in with Trick so that way you don't get beat up and robbed when you do a hip hop show. And there's like a famous story where this rapper Rick Ross came, and Rick Ross wasn't allowed to perform because he didn't check in with Trick. He just didn't. He didn't check in with Trick. So we were joking this whole time as we're in the lead up to this big event. This is 2023 or 2024 summer. I can't remember exactly what year. But we're joking, and I'm telling literally everybody at Turning Point, I'm like, you need Trick here. Nobody listens to me, right? Okay, Chris. Okay. Nobody listens to me. It was like 3 months later. Okay. Yeah. So it was July of 2024. I'm telling Turning Point, you need Trick at this event. 3 months later, Trump has another rally in Detroit. This is October of 2024. And you should have seen me blowing up the group chats, because do you know who President Trump brought out on stage at his October rally in Detroit?
Good.
What up, though, Detroit?
He brings out Trick. You guys, this could have been our moment. Like, what are you doing? From that point on, they didn't doubt me when it came to things Detroit moving forward. It was a good 2.5 years. I would never move back. I loved the state of Michigan, and I do have a soft spot in my heart for the city of Detroit, but the local government there is abysmal. It is one of the worst managed cities and states I have ever seen in my entire life. I've had the blessing of living in some bad ones. I've been in Pennsylvania. I grew up in Massachusetts, spent some time in Virginia. Detroit and Michigan is the coolest, best, worst run state in the country. I don't know. It's like, it feels like an oxymoron. Jumbo shrimp. But that's my Detroit story. You should watch the Detroit Thanksgiving Day Parade.
I'm thinking about it.
You need to.
I'm looking right. I was looking earlier. I was trying to find it on YouTube, see if I could stream it from there.
It is the best parade out. WDIV in Detroit. Hey, you want to talk about Somalia on the way?
Oh boy.
Speaking of Midwestern states that have been ruined by bad policy, let's talk about Somalia. I mean, Minnesota, don't you know? St. Paul, Minneapolis, a lot of fraud. A lot of Somalians are very upset. They're very upset because the president has removed temporary protected status from some of them Somalis. We'll talk about that on the way. This is a wild story. Gets people's blood boiling. We'll talk about it. 1021. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Hey, we got a call to action for you guys with our friends at Busy Bee. A lot of times, they'll use the commercial. They'll tell you all the great deals that they have going on, but they say, Chris, it's Thanksgiving week. We actually have bigger fish to fry, and it's a coat drive. They just had a fantastic coat drive yesterday in Lebanon. They were at Seven Seater Butcher Block on the Lebanon Square. They were there all yesterday afternoon. Fantastic turnout. Thank you to everybody that donated a coat. But we got another stop November 30th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Mount Juliet Chamber of Commerce parking lot. If you have a gently used coat, if you have a brand new coat, a coat that doesn't fit, can you donate it to someone in need? Busy Bee is giving you the opportunity to do so. Again, just put it in your calendar, November 30th from 2 to 4 p.m. Now, while we're talking about Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, don't forget about the 93 or free main line opening special happening right now. Either they clear that drain that's backing up for $93 or it's free to you. This is exclusively for November from our friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Give them a call today and take advantage of it. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. BusyBeeHVAC.com.
Coming up, the latest in the peace push between Russia and Ukraine. And a woman arrested by ICE has connections leading all the way to the White House. That and more coming up at 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Joan Jones in the newsroom, 1026, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Mason Fleming producing. My name is Chris Hand. Hey, how are you? You know where I got that from? I stole that from my dad. My dad, he would answer the house phone my entire life. Hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? So I borrowed that from my dad. It's a little nod. That's why I try to open up every break with, hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you?
Hey, how are you? Hey, how are ya? It was like one word when my dad would say it. I don't do it as good as he does, but it's a nod. It's a nod. We got a lot to get to. 1354 texted in, said we need to make a highlight reel of all the insane Afton Bain clips and put Cypress Hill, Insane in the Membrane, underneath it. Call it Insane in the Membrane, Insane in the Bane.
Be a 90-minute clip, but
it would take hours. We love the idea. We're not here to sign up for that workload on the day before Thanksgiving. If I'm being real. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's understandable.
Maybe we can work something out before the second. Maybe somebody should have done that a long time ago.
Yeah.
What do I know?
We'll see what happens.
We got a lot to talk about. 8203. Thank you for listening. Appreciate you guys. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Listen, it's the day before Thanksgiving. We're having some fun. You want to talk about Minnesota? You want to talk about mini Somalia? Everybody's talking about mini Somalia right now. People are upset that the president had the audacity to say, not a huge fan of the temporary protected status for the Somalis in Minnesota. And they are officially ending that. Local Fox 9 KMSP in Minneapolis, St. Paul. They have the story. Trump ending TPS for Somalis in Minnesota. What's next? President Trump announced plans to end temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. Legal changes to the status must come from Secretary of Homeland Security. U.S. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem is visiting Minneapolis. What we know, President Trump posted on Truth Social that he intends to terminate temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. However, such a decision legally requires action from the Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. Jailani Hussein, Executive Director of Minneapolis Care, remarked, "I think this is a political act. We believe that this is fabricated and created for the single purpose to rein in the young conservatives in this country." I don't know if it's fabricated. I think actually a lot of it has to do with the rampant fraud and insane stuff we're seeing happening in Minnesota. It's wild what's going on there. President Trump's team, they're going to be ending that TPS. They're also going to re-interview. They're moving to re-interview and potentially deport refugees that were allowed into the country under Biden. This is according to CNN. They call it an unprecedented step. But when you see what's going on in Minnesota with the Somali refugees, and you know that really what they're bringing is low IQs and fraud to the state, part of you has to wonder, why on earth were they ever allowed here in the first place? We had a Minnesota State Rep, Kristen Robbins, talking about the Somali fraud yesterday with Will Kane on Fox News.
Minnesotans are fed up. They see their dollars being stolen by fraudsters, and they are working harder than ever just to make ends meet.
How are they stealing that money? We'll tell you about it when we get back. It's 10:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. In the push for peace in Ukraine, President Trump is now saying he'll send his top envoy to meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
A U.S. official says Ukraine has agreed to a lengthy peace plan after an apparent breakthrough during recent talks in Switzerland. President Trump on social media saying the original 28-point peace plan, which was drafted by the United States, has been fine-tuned with additional input from both sides. And there are only a few remaining points of disagreement.
ABC's Nicole D'Antonio, a woman with a family connection to White House Press Secretary Carolyn Leavitt, has been arrested in an ICE raid. She is Bruna Ferreira, who has an 11-year-old son with Michael Leavitt. That's Caroline Leavitt's brother. Boston TV reporter Mary Saladna at WCVB there in Boston.
Ferreira was picked up by ICE earlier this month in Revere. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security told News Center 5 Ferreira is a criminal illegal alien from Brazil. She has a previous arrest for battery. She entered the U.S. on a B-2 tourist visa that required her to depart the U.S. by June 6, 1999.
Now, as for that 11-year-old boy, Ferreira has never had custody of him. The boy has lived with Caroline Leavitt's brother and his wife since being born. The press secretary has had no comment so far on the matter. Nashville drivers should be prepared for some slow-moving holiday traffic.
A new report by Consumer Affairs ranks Music City 9th among the worst U.S. cities for holiday traffic, with congestion jumping more than 11% from fall to winter. Drivers here spend nearly 3 hours stuck in traffic during the season, and crash risks rise in both clear and bad weather. Memphis also made the list at number 10, while Tampa tops the nation for holiday jams. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That is the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, what's up? It's Chris Hand here for my friend Dan over at Cabinet Makeovers. And if you're looking for a Christmas gift that is going to blow the doors off your kitchen, literally maybe, talk to my friends over at Cabinet Makeovers. This is going to be a gift that your wife is going to appreciate all year long. We just had some cabinets installed in my house by Dan and Cabinet Makeovers, pull-out cabinets and a pull-out pantry. It's unbelievable. And as my wife floats around the kitchen, I find myself thinking, should have waited and done this for Christmas. Don't make the same mistake I did. Do this for your wife for Christmas. We had these pull-out cabinets installed in my house. They're awesome. Everything is Tennessee made. Every cabinet, every pull-out, every drawer, all wood construction, full extension, soft close glides. The craftsmanship is of the highest level, and it really is special. Not bending over and digging in the back of your cabinets for pots and pans anymore is unbelievable. Watching how easy it is to get for the kids to get snacks out of the pantry, that's okay. I find myself saying, don't get any more snacks a little bit more often than I used to, because these cabinets in this pantry is so unbelievably easy to use. It really is a special kitchen. They can do the exact same thing for you. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, the kitchen's great. Well, Cabinet Makeovers designs custom closets, pantries, cabinetry for every room in your house. They can do that for you, and they build it all with the same Tennessee pride and biblical values that guide their business. So call them today, 615-331-7010. Ask for Christina. Ask for Dan. Both of them are going to take care of you. 615-331-7010, or see pictures of their work online, cabinetmakeoverstn.com. 1037 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. The Trump administration is going to be ending temporary protected status for Somalis in Minnesota. The Somalis are very upset, understandably so. Regular, everyday Minnesotans rejoice because they know exactly what's been happening thanks to the Somalis taking over Minneapolis and St. Paul. Minnesota State Rep Kristen Robbins exposing the Somali fraud yesterday on the Will Cain Show on Fox News.
Minnesotans are fed up. They see their dollars being stolen by fraudsters, and they are working harder than ever just to make ends meet. So Minnesotans are fed up with the fraud and the lack of accountability.
I was curious about that, Representative, because Minnesotans keep electing very liberal politicians tolerant of this type of cultural rot and judges that let these people off the hook of any sense of accountability. And I do wonder if there's ever a tipping point for the people of Minnesota. Do they ever say enough is enough? It would seem that autism fraud should be that tipping point.
Yes, I think autism fraud and all the other vectors of fraud have brought Minnesotans to the tipping point. People had no idea the scope and scale of this, and unfortunately, I'm not sure we still have a handle on it. I think we are really at the tip of the iceberg. But as these charges come down, as these indictments are handled out, we keep peeling back the layers of the onion. So it started with childcare fraud, then it went to Feeding Our Future. Now we're at autism centers, sober homes, non-emergency medical transportation, integrated community supports. I mean, there's a long list, and we are just getting started.
And that might not even be the most scandalous part, the fraud, because there are indications as well that this money not only went to fund lavish lifestyles, but it was sent back to Somalia. We know how much Somalia takes in the form of remittances. And that money going into Somalia, according to the City Journal, is also making its way to terror groups in Somalia, like Al-Shabaab. And just as a reminder to anybody watching, Al-Shabaab has a long history of terror incidents.
They do. Al-Shabaab's recent terror incidents. November 2025, 2 Kenyan officers killed in a bomb attack near the Somalia border. May 2025, suicide bomber killed 20 outside a military base. March 2025, 21 killed in a hotel attack. August 2024, 37 killed at Beachview Hotel. This is where the Somalis from Minnesota are sending all the fraudulent money that they're stealing from the American taxpayer. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Who would be upset with these Somalis leaving? Ilhan Omar is very upset, actually. The cases are wild. Breitbart has a breakdown. One of the first cases centered around an organization called Feeding Our Future, run by a group of Minneapolis area Somali migrants. Prosecutors say that the organizers bilked $250 million from the state and child food assistance funding. In a different case, tens of millions were stolen from Minnesota's autism treatment program, again, by Somali migrants. There's also the case of more than $550 million stolen from the state's coronavirus pandemic relief program. Above all this, massive fraud and theft, investigators are finding that Somali migrants have sent millions in taxpayer dollars to the African Islamic terror group known as Al-Shabaab. But if you were to ask Ilhan Omar, she would say there's no evidence for that whatsoever. And she said that just yesterday.
Because if you believe in law and order, you understand that if a person commits a crime, they face justice.
Says the lady who said some people did some things.
And that you don't put that crime on a whole community. What we also know is that there is not a single evidence that the president or his coonies have put forth that there are any single resource from taxpayers in Minnesota that has gone to aid and abet terrorism.
Well, many people would disagree with you, Ilhan Omar, and they say that the remittances that are being sent to Somalia are landing in the hands of terrorists. Who are you going to believe? Ilhan Omar? No. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, who won his election, mind you, because of clan warfare between Somalis. He had a message for his Somali supporters in regards to all of this as well.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Frey, Doka Magalada, Minneapolis. Damaan, Sha'abka Somaliyed, Ka Yamid, Mogadishu.
Minneapolis has fallen. Does anybody else feel like that? Minneapolis has fallen. Let's go to Larry in Clarksville. Larry, how are you, man? Happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving to you, brother. Thanks for taking my call. And thanks to you and WTN for everything you guys do for the mission.
I appreciate you, man.
Well, and first of all, Dan made the comment this morning about the flaws of the people on National Morning News. I texted in on the super text line. First of all, Dan, I said, Dan.
Well, Dan.
Joan and Sam have no flaws, but that text disappeared. It never made it. Anyway.
It's a conspiracy.
Anyway. Joan has no flaws, and we're all glad that she's back on the air.
Yep. Agreed.
As far as Minnesota.
Don't you know?
Yeah, exactly, eh? I was stationed in Minnesota from 78 to 81 before I went to Alaska. Actual Minnesotans are very good people.
Amen.
But they have been invaded. Well, it is a beautiful state.
It's wild to me. If you go back, so this is like one of my favorite things to do. You ever see the Christmas movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, sir.
It was based in Minnesota, and they have scenes in the Mall of America. And if you go back, and it's like from 1996, I want to say 96. You go back and you look at Minnesota in that movie, and if you were to go to travel to those same areas today, you would be like, this is not what they portrayed in that movie. It has been transformed so radically, so quickly. It's not even recognizable anymore.
I mean, there are places in Minneapolis and St. Paul that the police are not even allowed into. And I still have some really good friends in Minnesota, and they're fed up, but they're outnumbered.
I hear you, man.
And how did they get outnumbered? Joe Biden let all these people in and shipped all these people in, and Ilhan Omar, I mean, I got to watch my language, Chris.
I hear you. It's the holidays. We can't be swearing on the radio, Larry. We can't be doing it.
Well, I'm trying hard, brother. Believe me, it's very hard right now.
I'm with you. And hey, Larry, I appreciate the call as always. You know what Ilhan Omar said, and I'll let you listen offline. Ilhan Omar, she actually said that, and I quote, Somalis have always been seen as the fabric of this nation. Talking about America.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
I guess the fabric of this nation. Do you think when you're thinking of the fabric of this nation, obviously, you instantly think the Somalis in Minnesota, right? Right? I feel like that meme, the Star Wars meme. You mean the fabric of the nation, right? Right? Steven Crowder, he's a beast. He had some things. He had some things to say about Minnesota and the Somalis.
Let me give you a few reasons as to why it's an absolute hellhole. The average IQ, in the States we do pretty well. We're not as high as some nations like Japan, right? But it's about 97.4 right there in the center of the bell curve. Somalia, the average IQ is 67.
Yikes. That's the average IQ. 67. How is it that America is benefiting from the importation of Somalis? Can anybody help me understand that? How does somebody with a 67 IQ become the fabric of the nation? I have questions. Crowder continues.
Well, malnourishment, of course. But half of Somalis show genetic signs of inbreeding. Oh, no. If you actually look at this. There's a lot of inbreeding. By the way, this is very common across Islamic nations.
Yeah. Fact check, true.
across the world, and that also contributes significantly to lower IQ.
It does.
And when you have an IQ rate that is that low, that is functionally retarded, you don't need to have a nation filled with geniuses, but you need to have a baseline level of average IQ that allows for innovation, that allows for basic functions of society to be performed. That can't happen with an IQ of 67. It can't happen when they are inbreeding with no signs of stopping. And again, please don't forget, Ilhan Omar is no stranger to this. She married her brother. Yeah, you have the marriage certificate. And you think about this.
It's
we have
so damning.
These Somalis here, and people get, I can't believe you would say this. They're just as American as you. No, they're not.
No.
They're not. Well, why do you say they're not as American as you? Well, my parents were born here. My dad's parents were born here. His parents were born here. We've been here for a long time. We speak the language. We contribute.
You adopted the culture.
Yeah, we don't bang our cousins.
You don't.
No, that's key. That's key. Matt Walsh took to his show, and he had a statement saying we need to protect our culture. Elon Musk amplified this on X, saying this is the truth. It's the hard truth, but it is the truth. The Somali culture is not American culture, and the Somalis, no matter how hard they try to fit that round peg into the square hole, they're not the fabric of this nation. I'm sorry.
This is why we say import the third world, become the third world. Because the thing that nobody wants to say is that the reason why third world countries are the way they are is because third world people are the way they are. Okay, at the end of the day, your country is a reflection of its people. Every country is, when it comes down to it. Somali is totally dysfunctional and corrupt because scam and frauds, piracy, this is part of the lifestyle, part of the culture. Bring it over here, you get the same stuff.
Are we shocked when that happens? Are you shocked? Jeff on the road's been holding for a minute. Appreciate you holding. Jeff, what do you got?
Hey, no problem. Happy Thanksgiving to you.
Same to you, sir.
Yeah, on this whole thing, it's tough, right? Because, you don't want to label an entire group of people. And so I had a couple of experiences. I had a job interview in Minneapolis, and then we had friends that still live there, Lake Minnetonka, $30 million home. I mean, that was my experience in Minnesota. I hadn't been back for a while. So I had a Somali Uber driver, and, I thought I'd be culturally, diverse, and I threw him a salam alaikum, and he goes, "Oh, you're one of the faithful." And we were on the freeway at this point. And I said, I just believe, there's a lot of paths to God, and they're all good as long as you're positive. And this guy literally flipped. I almost got dropped off on the freeway. There was only one on. I mean, it was unbelievable, just the dramatic change, and it had nothing to do with us having a meeting of the minds or, there's one true, it was, this is it, or it was violent. So he finally kind of cooled off, dropped me off at my destination, but it was just like, whoa, there's no discussion. And this person was not of this century, right? And definitely not of American culture. It's just like, come here, religious freedom. Yeah, you be you, and I'll respect you as long as you're doing good by people. There was none of that discussion, and it was more than cultural. You know what I mean? It was really scary. Then I ended up going and working in Minneapolis a little bit, and it was the same type of thing, very clannish. I met some really good Somalis too. I'll say too. So you can't.
Yeah, it's hard to paint with a broad brush. I just think that you're going to find yourself in a situation though where that culture is going to take over. And one thing we know about Islam, as soon as they gain a little bit of power, they're not letting it go, and they're only moderate for so long.
Yeah, it was like running into a concrete wall. Where here I thought I was having a great conversation with this person, but there was. So I guess maybe the idea is, assimilation to the point of just appreciating what it means to be American, because we're all on this canvas with all these great colors and different strokes and all that, but you got to be respectful and accepting. And man, there with at least a couple of these individuals that I ran into, it was diametrically opposed to that. So,
yeah, it's tough. And I appreciate the call, Jeff. And it's tough to paint. I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but I think we see what's going on. And then when you look at the highest levels of Somalians, even like the Ilhan Omars, it's like you look at somebody and you're like, you're not very smart, and you don't understand what America is. Some people did some things. That's Ilhan Omar. She married her brother. It's crazy. Ken in Lewisburg on the Somalians in Minnesota. What's up, Ken?
Hey, buddy, I used to work for a door company in Nashville, and they sent me out to a place in Nashville off of Old County Hospital Road.
Okay.
And I spent about a week there straight doing some work, and they had Somalians in there, Hispanics, our normal local black people there, but they also had security guards there all the time. And I asked them, what's with the security? And they said, because the Somalians are always fighting with somebody there, and we have to restrain them. All the cops. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. They're no longer in business now, but
You color me shocked.
that's what it is.
Yeah, we have security here. It's just for the Somalians.
Yeah.
Yikes. Hey, I appreciate the call. 615-737-9986. If you want to join the conversation, it's 10:52. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Hey, this is Pastor Al, and join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.
Well, if you are on the interstates, be looking to see a highway patrolman every few miles. I can testify I did see 3 of them on the way in from Murfreesboro. Also, new information about the Chicago man who's charged with lighting a woman on fire. Good grief. We'll have that coming up at 11 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. It's 10:58, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. So you want a little pro tip on if you get pulled over for speeding? Ready for this?
Tell me, Chris.
What is it?
So I can't do it in my car currently, but I had a car where I could do this.
Oh, boy.
I could quickly switch the display over from miles per hour to kilometers per hour.
Yeah. I can do that on my truck. Yeah, real quick.
I've got out of a speeding ticket this way. I shouldn't lie. But I said the kids switched it over. I haven't been able to figure out how to do it. I'm going to watch a YouTube video when I get home.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's that man. Yeah, I didn't realize you were so devious.
I can be. I can be.
I'm not going to lie.
Sometimes I got that Somali in me, you know?
Yeah, that 66 IQ is
pays off. It pays off. There's a couple countries that have learned from their mistakes on the rampant migration. One of them is Denmark, and I think that we should take a page out of Denmark's book.
To popular elections, and it's because they've taken a hard stance on immigration. Denmark has made it inhospitable for migrants and asylum seekers to Denmark. What are they doing? Well, they've extended the process, lengthened the amount of time till someone can gain permanent residency in Denmark. You can't just show up and all of a sudden become Danish. They've made housing much less accommodating, much less welcoming. They've even threatened to confiscate jewelry and valuables of would-be refugees in order to pay those refugees' bills. Now, Denmark is doing this because they don't want to look like the UK and France. Take a look at asylum applications in Europe over the last 10 years. Take a look first at Great Britain. In 2015, just under 40,000 asylum claims. That spikes above 108,000 some 10 years later. Same thing in France, from 70,000 to 130,000 in that time frame. But look at Denmark. It's gone down from just under 21,000 to just over 2,000 in that same time frame. Now,
we're going to be more like Denmark. And when they're putting those numbers up, I wish they would have put up Minnesota, don't you know? It would have been just as terrifying. It's 11 o'clock. Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It's 11 a.m. I'm Jay Harper with your top stories. We'll have that. Well, it's nice outside now. It looks like it's going to be that way tomorrow for your Thanksgiving forecast. We'll update you on that. Well, if you're taking off to see Grandma, there's a lot of folks out there on the roads going to be joining you. Tennessee Highway Patrol, they claim to be posting a trooper every 20 miles on the interstates. Here's Colonel Matt Perry.
We need your cooperation to achieve our goal. I'm asking every single driver to commit to 3 things: buckle up, slow down, and don't drive distracted. Check your speed, put your phone away, and always ensure every passenger is properly restrained.
Today and Sunday expected to be the busiest days on the highways. New details about an attack on a Chicago train that left a young woman fighting for her life. Suspect Lawrence Reed, previously arrested 72 times. 72 times, and was under electronic monitoring.
Court documents seen by our Chicago station, WLS, reveal that Reed violated his curfew several times in the days before the attack. And on November 17th, an alert went out that he had violated his curfew, but hours later, he allegedly carried out that attack on the train. A judge overseeing the electronic monitoring program says, "We're reviewing all actions taken in this case to ensure procedures were followed."
That's ABC's Rena Roy, but what really isn't clear is if the judge who freed Reed will be under investigation for her actions. Back here locally, early voting ends today for voters in the highly contested 7th Congressional District. House Speaker Mike Johnson says getting Matt Van Epps into the now vacated seat in the 7th District is important to Republicans.
There's no question on many key votes coming up over the next several months, Matt Van Epps will be the hero. I mean, he will be the deciding vote. There's no question about it. And it will make all the difference for the entire country.
That is the speaker on Matt Murphy's show yesterday. He's pitted, that would be Mr. Van Epps is pitted against Democrat Afton Bain. 7th District voters in 14 counties, including Davidson, Montgomery, and Williamson, can still vote early today, or they can vote in person, of course, on Election Day, which is Tuesday, December 2nd. That's the latest news. Weather's on the way. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 11:06 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. You can listen to us anywhere, iHeart, TuneIn, the FM dial. You can watch the show, Super Talk TV, up and running, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Rumble. Hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Monty Fritz is on the line. Monty Fritz is running for governor in the state of Tennessee. What's up, Monty? How are you?
Hey, good morning, Chris. We're coming through Nashville. I just wanted to call in and tell you we love you. We listen to your show when we come through Nashville, and I was campaigning in West Tennessee this week, and happy Thanksgiving to you and all your listeners in Middle Tennessee.
Well, we appreciate it, Monty, and happy Thanksgiving to you. How's the campaign going? We know it's no easy road. I mean, you're definitely the underdog in the race. How have things been working out for you?
I like being the underdog. It's been great. We were in Shelby County in Memphis for a day and a half. Madison County had some meetings there, then in Crockett and Dyer County, and then we finished off the day yesterday in Carroll County with a big GOP meeting. So we're keeping the roads hot, but meeting lots of great people who are thirsty for liberty and hungry for less government in Tennessee.
Well, we appreciate you, man. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? Do you cook? Are you the guy cooking on Thanksgiving?
No, I'm not allowed around the sharp utensils.
Really? Because I don't know, man. I kind of pictured you as the guy that's deep frying the turkey.
Well, we tried that once. It didn't work out so well. I enjoy the deep fried turkey. My son is better at that, so we're going to my son's house, and he's doing all the smoked turkey and fried turkey and all that stuff, and hang out with the grandkids, and my wife and I will just kind of enjoy being grandparents for a day or two.
I love it, man. Well, God bless you guys. Have a great holiday, and good luck on the race. Would love to have you in studio here after the holiday and give us an update on where you're at on the race.
Hey, we'd be happy to. I was listening to your show on the Somalis, and I was thinking that we might have a candidate running for District 7 that has some Somali roots with the positions she takes.
Yeah, you're not lying. That's a mess. What do you think is going to happen here with the election in the 7th District?
I think all the good Republicans are going to get out and vote like they need to. That's the right thing to do. We can't afford to have Aston Bain be the face of Middle Tennessee.
Yeah,
that's a repugnant thought.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Monty Fritz running for governor. Just a heads up, Monty. I got a text from my wife while you called in, and she goes, let him know we love Monty with about 7 exclamation points.
Well, I love y'all too, and I promise your dear wife we're going to take a much more aggressive approach on this geoengineering thing after I'm elected. We've done some good things in Tennessee. We've led the nation in it, but it's time for the executive department to step up and enforce the law, take this on, and put some pressure on D.C. to make sure that the federal government is taking the problem serious, because I know that's important to y'all.
Yep. Yes, sir. I appreciate it, man. Monty Fritz, everybody. Hey, have a great Thanksgiving, Monty.
Happy Thanksgiving, friend.
All right, brother. Take care. That's Monty Fritz. He's a good guy. I like Monty a lot. Listen, the governor's race, that's going to be tough. Marsha Blackburn is a tough opponent. And it does look like she's in the lead, and she's doing great. And I think we're in a pretty good position here in Tennessee. No matter which way we go, I do believe we're going to land ourselves a heck of an upgrade at governor. And whether that's Monty Fritz, whether that's Marsha Blackburn, that's up to y'all. But get yourself familiar with all the candidates. That's what we can do. Education is really the key here. Figure out what works for you, and then vote accordingly. That election is going to be fun to cover. This 7th district election is fun to cover. Afton Bain is out there canvassing this morning, and I wish that I lived in the 7th district, because I could imagine my wife getting a knock on the door from Afton Bain and giving her an earful, and that would be fantastic. We got a lot going on, and we're excited to have you here. I'm going to be checking in with my friend Blake Crossland from the Murfreesboro Firefighters here in a little bit. They got a fundraiser going on, and he's going to give us an update on that about 11:25, 15 minutes or so. And in the meantime, we'll keep talking about anything you want to talk about. 615-737-9986. 615-737-9986. The conversation was circling around the Minnesotans, the Somalians, and what's going on out there. But we are keeping our eyes tuned in to J.D. Vance, who's going to be descending upon the Fort Campbell in Kentucky. He's going to be stepping by there today, stopping by and giving some messages to the troops. If that happens while we're here on the air, we will cover that live. Fox News has been keeping their eye on it, and they've also got some updates on Russia-Ukraine peace negotiations, which are currently ongoing. Oh, you want to give me some audio there, Mason? This is Fox News a little while ago, talking about the Russia-Ukraine peace negotiations.
Says his team is making tremendous progress and has directed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff to meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow. He will likely be accompanied by President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. Meanwhile, Secretary of the Army Dan Driscoll, whose star appears to be rising in the administration because of his close relationship to J.D. Vance, left Abu Dhabi, where he met with Russian negotiators, and could be heading to Kyiv Kyiv this week to meet with President Zelensky and top Ukrainian officials who thanked the U.S. delegation. Quote, "We appreciate the productive and constructive meetings held in Geneva between the Ukrainian and U.S. delegations, as well as President Trump's steadfast efforts to end the war. But the toughest issues remain unresolved: territorial issues, frozen Russian assets, and future security guarantees for Ukraine, including NATO membership and/or Article 5 defense of Ukraine."
I would say there is no final version of any peace framework so far. So the document that was presented to Ukraine and discussed in Geneva was significantly transformed, and it reflects a lot of things that Ukraine wanted to put there or to change or to exclude from this plan, but there is no final draft.
None of this is stopping Russian attacks on civilian targets in Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv overnight. President Trump says he hopes to meet Presidents Zelensky and Putin, but only when the deal is final. That could be a ways off. At this point, it really comes down to Russia and Putin, who seem unlikely to accept anything short of Ukraine's complete capitulation.
I mean, we'll see what happens. Earlier in the week, people were saying maybe we get peace by Thanksgiving. It looks like that is not going to be the case. And last night, Kellyanne Conway was filling in for Hannity, and she had Mark Wayne Mullen on. And I don't know if you picked up on this, but during the interview, she goes, "Will we have peace by February?" And I was like, oh, yuck. So it's probably not going as smooth as people seem to think. 615-737-9986 if you want to join the show. Jesse in Gallatin wants to talk about Minnesota, don't you know? What's up, Jesse?
What's going on, Mr. Hand? How you doing, sir?
I'm good. What do you got?
Right, just a political refugee from Minnesota. I fled here 4 years ago. Minnesotans have been screaming about the Somali problem for a long time. I don't understand why it's just making the news now. I mean, 15, 20 years we've been screaming this problem. It's been obvious. It looks like Mogadishu in Minneapolis. It's been a radical change.
I mean, I think one of the reasons why there's more attention on it is because of the Trump administration, obviously, and the deportation efforts. But you also had an influx of temporary protected status refugees under the Biden administration, which has obviously exacerbated the problem, though it's been bad for quite a while. Living in Minnesota and seeing it transform, what are your thoughts being from there?
It's disgusting. I mean, you saw a huge influx of this after 9/11. That's when you saw a lot of them coming in. Well, it was early 2000s, and that's when you saw the real big change. And the biggest change was the Floyd, right? That's what got us to leave, was seeing Minneapolis be destroyed through politicians pushing violence, right? Watching people come from other states. Majority of the people that were down there weren't from Minneapolis. You saw Chicago, Illinois license plates everywhere. Wisconsin license plates everywhere. These people were bussed in. It was just a complete orchestrated destruction of the city. It was absolutely wild. And after that, there was no recuperating. People fled. Everyone that was smart, had a brain or the funds or the means to do it, they left, including us.
Do you think that they can save either of those cities?
No, there's zero chance. You cannot save Minneapolis. You cannot save Minnesota. It is abandoned ship. Walz has destroyed the place. Mayor Fry is so corrupt. That guy has been involved in such scandalous stuff. Look up some of his old best friends. I mean, he helped one of his best friends get out of some serious trouble. And if you dig deep enough, you can find that.
Well, and he only won the election against the Somali guy because of clan warfare disputes between Somalis.
Oh, he's in their pockets. He has been for a long time. It's been super obvious. The guy's just disgusting. The people, I don't have acceptance for the people coming from there. You've seen it. They don't assimilate. They don't want to be part of the culture. They're combative. They're combative with the people from Minnesota. They don't get along. And real people that have been there and will speak to it, they'll tell you the same thing. They're not polite people. They don't want to be part of the community. They don't want to be part of the culture. I worked at a shop in Minneapolis, and we used to have to lock the restrooms because they would come in and their hygiene habits, they would wash in the toilet, in the sink, and leave everything a mess. And, it gets to a point where you just can't have it anymore.
So how is it that the liberals have not seen this, or are just all the American citizens being replaced in these areas?
They're being replaced. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. You have these left-leaning communists like Walz who bring them in. That's more power. That's more power for them. That's more backing for them. And on the other side of that, like, let's just say things do get ugly in this country and we do come to blows with each other. That's more people on their side, right? They have to stack the deck for the future.
It's insane. It's insane to hear you say that out loud, but I think that you're not far off, Jesse. What would you say to anybody that's still living in Minnesota?
Get out, leave, find freedom. Like, it's insane when you go from a blue state to a red state, the freedom that you find. It's absolutely nuts. On top of that, I don't know if you've seen Fall in Minnesota. I watch you every day, but I've never seen you talk about Fall in Minneapolis. I apologize. The Fall in Minneapolis. Have you watched that?
Is that the Candace Owens documentary?
No, this was a documentary made by a former news anchor in Minneapolis. She couldn't stand it anymore, being, given talking points, being told what to say and what not to say. And her husband is Bob Kroll, the former sergeant of the police union. And they made this documentary that exposes a lot of what really happened and the truth, because Chauvin's going to get out. That guy's going to get pardoned. That dude's going to get out once the truth of all this is exposed and the world sees it, that the guy was just a scapegoat. He was a patsy.
Yeah, well, listen, man, I'm going to put it on my list for watching over this long weekend, and I appreciate your insight, and I appreciate the recommendation for the Fall of Minneapolis.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Hey, appreciate you calling anytime, Jesse. Thanks so much. As we're going down the Minneapolis hole, I got a story here. 300 million. Defendant 78, the 78th person, has been charged in a $300 million Feeding Our Future fraud case. The guy being charged claimed to feed twice the population of Pelican Rapids, a small town in outside of Minneapolis, every day, 7 days a week.
The 78th person is charged in the $300 million Feeding Our Future fraud case, just 1 week after number 77. Abdi Rashid Dul of Pelican Rapids claimed to serve 6,000 meals to children every day, 7 days a week. That number is twice the entire population, kids and adults, of Pelican Rapids in northwest Minnesota. He also claimed to run a food site in Moorhead. All told, prosecutors say he stole $1.1 million, which he used to buy real estate.
That's Lou Geese reporting. $1.1 million, using it for real estate. $300 million in the Feeding Our Future fraud. You see this over and over and over again. And then they'll tell us that we're wrong for pointing it out. Our friend Jesse was talking about Mayor Jacob Fry. This is his message to Somalians.
Maaga Egawa Jacob Fry, Dolka Magalada, Minneapolis. Damaan, Shaabka Somaliyed, Kayamid, Mogadishu, Garowe, Hargeisa, Bosaso, Bedabo, Kismayo, Wahan Rabah, In An Idin Shego.
Is it just me, or is it infuriating to hear an American official elected to be the mayor of one of our biggest cities speaking a foreign language to address the constituents? It's infuriating. These individuals are not coming to America and assimilating. So much so that the mayor of the town has to learn their language. That's not how it's supposed to go. That's backwards. That's completely backwards. I had a text earlier, and it was a first-generation immigrant, and he was very upset about the comments of Matt Walsh and Steven Crowder. And I said, man, they're addressing, in particular, the Somalis and the lack of assimilation. He said, I came here, and I've done great. My kids have done great. You wouldn't even know that they were the kids of immigrants. I said, yeah, but the key there is the assimilation aspect of it. Not all immigrants are bad. But immigration like this most certainly is. We'll take more of your phone calls on the way. It's 11:21. This is Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
A win for the president in the state of Georgia today. Also, a high-level Trump administration official's family not immune to ICE raids. And today's Nashville traffic could prove a little challenging. We'll have those stories coming up at 11:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
That's Jay Harper in the newsroom. My name is Chris Hand. Mason Fleming is producing. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I'm reading these texts. I got a lot of people weighing in. 2690 says, my company sends me to Minnesota all the time. From my experience, though, it's just like the Nashville problem in Tennessee. Everybody I've spoken to in Minnesota basically says Minneapolis screws it up for the whole state. Everybody that I've met were very conservative and voted for Trump. Yeah, I could see that happening. I could. But that's all you need is a couple big cities to ruin it for everybody. We see it. I would say we see it more with Memphis than we see it with Nashville. But yeah, it's little things. We're splitting hairs.
Yeah, Memphis seems to be the big puller for that, though.
I mean, they definitely throw off our statistics.
Just a little bit.
They definitely put that in the tank. A lot of people wanting to weigh in, 615-737-9986. Kevin in Nashville. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, Chris. What's going on?
How are you doing, man? What do you got?
I am doing okay. Yeah, continuing with the Muslim immigration thing, there are huge enclaves in Dallas-Fort Worth now.
Yep.
And
wasn't it Colony Ridge was exposed by the Daily Wire a few months back, or that was an illegal alien? But there's Muslim neighborhoods as well. Dearborn, Michigan, you could point to also.
Yeah, Dearborn is entirely owned by them. They have the city council, the police force, and the mayor's office.
I mean, they almost put Arabic on the police patch in Dearborn, Michigan.
Yeah, and see, and what we're saying, we're going the way of the UK. To where the UK has like 8 Muslim mayors over towns.
Yep.
And they have 80 Sharia courts and 130 Sharia councils. And some of these places here, they're starting to set up those courts here because if you go to the Plano, Texas, where they plan on opening Epic City, they already have their Sharia courts there. So they're not planning to follow American law because they're going to separate themselves from it.
Yeah.
What the liberal population does not seem to understand is while they're trying to bring these people in and use them for votes, once they get control, they're going to turn on them next.
100%. 100%.
Because you go to these places, then they're going to be required. Oh well, you're still going to have to. The women are going to have to wear the hijab if you're going to be there, and a whole host of other things they're going to want you to abide by because they're abiding by Sharia law.
I mean, and I mentioned earlier in the show we lived in Michigan for a couple of years. This is in like 2013, and even then, this is what 12 years ago now. We were told, listen, if you go to Dearborn, there's this big like a farmer's market kind of deal. They'd say, listen, your wife isn't going to get any service if she's not wearing a hijab.
Yeah, see, so they're gonna impose their will, and even some of their imams have said it. I've seen video clips of them. Some of their imams have said it, and what they said was, "We'll beat you with the wombs of our women, immigration, and use your miserable laws against you."
Yep.
So so they're going to outbreed us, which they're doing, and of course, when we're enabling immigration from these countries, and these people are not assimilating, then that's where you have another problem. And then they operate just within the law to grow the size of their populations and impose their will. And next thing you know, we'll be like the UK.
Yeah, no, you're not off at all, Kevin. I mean, this is exactly what we're seeing, and it's like you see that with the radical Islam, and you see it with the commies. They're fine with a 100-year plan. They're fine with way to get out. They're fine with planting seeds for shade that they will not sit underneath. Do you know what I mean? We see it all the time. Let's go to Terry in the borough. Terry, how are you, man?
I'm pumping iron and I'm tired.
Let's go.
I'm 68 years old. I'm having to get in shape. I don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years. Anyway.
Terry's out here bulking up. I like it.
Yeah. A little late, but I'm doing it.
Hey, man. God bless you.
Chris, I am really disgusted. We listen to all this stuff, and you see what's going on. and nothing's being done about it. What I see is I've lost friends, I've lost family because of political divide.
Yep. And you're not the only one, Terry.
I turn on the TV and I see our friends and colleagues patting each other on the back, laughing and cutting up like it's just another day at the office. And so we've taken the aggressive step to try to rid ourselves of what the problem is. How's it going to go away when people that represent us don't give a damn? So how's it going to work?
It's a good question, Terry. And what we can do is we can hope and we can pray that we're getting the right people in these positions. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I know it's not the right answer. It's not the answer you're looking for, but that's the reality of what we're facing. 11:31, Super Talk, 99.7 WTN.
I'm Jay Harper. It's 11:31. I've got your top stories along with a full holiday forecast. That's coming up. The new prosecutor in Georgia has dismissed the election interference case against President Trump, along with some others like Mark Meadows and Rudy Giuliani. Fani Willis, who initially brought forth the charges, was dismissed from the case. And Pete Skandalakis, the executive director of the Prosecuting Attorneys Council of Georgia, said today that the case would neither serve the citizens of Georgia nor fulfill his statutory obligations. We've got more now from ABC's Aaron Katursky.
Full of guilty pleas at the outset of this case, it appears those will stand. But others who were charged, Mark Meadows, for example, the former chief of staff to the president, they will no longer be charged.
A woman with a family connection to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has been arrested in an ICE raid. She is Bruna Ferreira, who has an 11-year-old son with Michael Leavitt, that's Caroline's brother. Boston TV reporter Mary Saladna at WCVB has more.
Ferreira was picked up by ICE earlier this month in Revere. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security told News Center 5 Ferreira is a criminal illegal alien from Brazil. She has a previous arrest for battery. She entered the U.S. on a B-2 tourist visa that required her to depart the U.S. by June 6, 1999.
As far as the 11-year-old boy, Ferreira has never had custody of him. He's lived with Caroline Leavitt's brother and his wife since being born. The press secretary has had no comment on the matter. Nashville drivers, look out. The traffic, like it isn't bad enough.
A new report by Consumer Affairs ranks Music City 9th among the worst U.S. cities for holiday traffic, with congestion jumping more than 11% from fall to winter. Drivers here spend nearly 3 hours stuck in traffic during the season, and crash risks rise in both clear and bad weather. Memphis also made the list at number 10, while Tampa tops the nation for holiday jams. Ken Weaver, WTN News.
That is the latest news. We've got your holiday forecast next. I'm Jay Harper, WTN News.
It's 11:38 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. The show is brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. I don't know if you know this, but my grandfather was a firefighter. And so I got a soft spot in my heart for firefighters. You'll hear things about any occupation, bad doctors, bad cops, but I don't think you ever really hear stories about bad firefighters.
Yeah, I have big support for firefighters. My uncle was a firefighter. He flew from Washington to New York right after 9/11 to help with cleanup and like putting out fires and stuff.
What a beast! So I got a tip that my friends at the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association, they're doing a bit of fundraising, and I said, well, you guys called the right person because I want to help you guys fundraise. So Zach Fleener from the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association is joining us now on the line. Zach, thanks for calling in, man. How are you?
Oh, no. Excellent, sir. Thanks for having us.
Well, happy Thanksgiving, and tell me a little bit about the organization that you're raising money for and how we can help support you guys.
Yeah, so we are a 501c5. We have been in existence since 1986, and as kind of an extension, most of your firefighters have a culture of problem solving.
Yes, sir.
And addressing needs in the community, and kind of as an extension of that, we've got our charity wing, which is the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association. Some causes that we have been collecting money for and donating to lately have been Camp Hope, which is the Vanderbilt Burn Center.
Yes, sir.
Read to Succeed, which is a literacy program within Rutherford County. And we are heavily involved with youth athletics and disaster relief within Rutherford County.
I love it, man. And Camp Hope is a really cool charity that you guys are working with. So you'll have children that are burn victims, and you send them off to a camp free of charge.
Yes. Yes, we were very excited to be involved with them.
And you guys are partnering with other firefighters associations around Middle Tennessee, am I correct?
You are correct, sir, yes.
So what other firefighters associations is the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association partnering with?
Of course, we're partnering with Metro Nashville, Franklin Firefighters Association, Hendersonville, and I believe Columbia. And there are several more. I just can't remember them off the top of my head. No, it's okay.
I'm putting you on the spot, Zach.
Yeah.
Hey, well, okay. Well, I guess the important question, because helping the kids is amazing. Literacy programs are amazing. The fact that you're spending this money locally here in Middle Tennessee is key. How can we help you guys, and how can we donate?
So most of our donations, they do come via phone. So we tend to call residents within our local communities. You are also able to donate via our website.
Perfect. Can you give me the website so that way we can get that out there for everybody?
Yes, that will be the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association, and it's you can also reach us through Middle Tennessee ProfessionalFirefighters.com.
Well, appreciate what you're doing, Zach. God bless you guys, and I hope you raise a lot of money for the kids in Middle Tennessee. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you, sir, and everyone have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too, brother. Appreciate you. Zach Fleener from the Murfreesboro Firefighters Association. Definitely a worthwhile cause. We appreciate him, and we appreciate all the firefighters around Middle Tennessee. Wishing all you guys a happy Thanksgiving. Law enforcement officers as well. We have a big respect for you guys. That being said, 11:42. You know what time it is? It's time for the lightning round.
It's the lightning round with Chris Hand.
We do it every time, every day at this time. All the stories that we didn't have a chance to get to, all the stories that wouldn't fill up a whole segment, and stories that we just feel like need a little bit more attention. We call it the lightning round. First story of the lightning round. Are you ready for the first story of the lightning round? President Trump is making Rush Hour 4 happen. You heard me right. Paramount has announced Rush Hour 4 is in the works after President Trump pushed for it.
Ooh.
Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, they're back. They're going to be back. The film is going into production, and it's going to follow the exploits of Hong Kong Detective Inspector Lee and LAPD Detective James Carter, who will go on an action-packed crime-solving adventure. We do need to get back to better movies in this country. I don't know if necessarily going to the well is the right move. I think coming up with original ideas would be better. But hey, I'm here for it, because when you look at the current state of today's movies, they are terrible. Which leads us to the next story of the lightning round.
I'm in danger.
You are.
Chris giving me that look. I'm sorry.
It
I'm
was
fixing stuff.
It was delayed lightning. We need our lightning immediately. There it is.
No!
There it is. There's a movie out right now, the new Wicked movie. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of it. The bone-chilling one, apparently.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the story, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, well, what did you expect? What on earth did you expect going to see that movie? And I'm with you. But there are going to be some parents out there, some grandparents out there, some aunts, some uncles who may not be paying as close attention to as everybody else is to the movie scene. And I got a story here that is wild. It actually involves one of our friends, one of my wife's friends, Sarah. She's an influencer. She does some influencing on the internet, and she took her kids to see the new Wicked movie. And they left. They got up and they walked out. This story is being picked up everywhere. It's in Us Weekly, to name a few. And she lays it on the line. Says this could cause some controversy, but here we go. She said, "We love theater. We love musicals. We love appreciating the talents and God-given gifts of that people have, seeing the acting, the arts, all the creativity. But gosh, I am not sitting in a movie that is casting legit spells over me and my family and allowing my children to watch scenes where men are sexually taking off women's clothing and music that is talking about them laying in bed together. I have a feeling that spells cast in this movie weren't just some made-up words. They had purpose in them. The Bible tells us to stay far away from that, and my children looked at me with big eyes and felt uncomfortable during certain parts of this movie, so the mom gut in me knew it was time to walk out. They got up, they left the movie." Now, I get it. You're probably thinking, this is baked in the cake in these Wicked movies, and I understand. But a lot of people said the first one wasn't too bad, but that's what they do, right? They lull you into a false sense of security, and then you go, well, we did the first one. Why not the second one? If you're thinking about going to the movies this weekend, I would press pause on going to see the new Wicked movie if your kids aren't ready for these kinds of conversations. Now, if you got an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, you got older kids. Every kid is going to be different. But if you're bringing a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, I would rethink it. The subliminal programming in these movies is insane. And yes, there are songs where men are sexually taking off women's clothing, music that is talking about them laying in bed together. I would suggest seeing something else or staying home and watching a classic. How about Home Alone? Home Alone? It's not a Thanksgiving movie. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles?
Yeah, great one. I did see something about Home Alone today, released by Macaulay Culkin. It was a quote from him saying, "We should do another movie where it's him as either a divorcee or a widow, and he's fighting with his kid a lot and they're not connecting as well, and his kid locks him out of the house and does all the traps and stuff for him instead as he tries to get back in the house."
Nah, I hate it. Actually, I hate it.
That's fair.
It sounds worse than Home Alone 3. My kids often ask me, why can't we watch Home Alone 3? And I say, it's disappointment you'll never recover from.
It doesn't exist. Actually, from what I heard, there are only 2 Home Alone.
Only 2. And then whenever they ask me, can I watch Home Alone 3? I say, down the hall and to the left. And they go, are you sending me to my room? I say, yes.
Correct.
Down the hall to the left.
You can watch the one with Trump in it. That's okay.
Exactly.
It's okay.
Exactly. You ever see the what they did last year or a couple years ago when they superimposed Joe Biden over Trump? And he was just confused. It was just like a video of him trying to find his way off stage.
That's funny. That's so good.
So good. Yeah, so be careful if you're going to go see Wicked or just or don't.
Yeah.
How about you don't?
I've heard it's just meh anyways. Not worth the risk.
Got another story for you here in the lightning round. Democrat D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser will not seek re-election next year, per Washington Post. Yes. She couldn't clean anything up. President Trump had to do it for her. And I wonder what that I don't, honestly, I'll be honest, I don't care about Muriel Bowser. I think she's an awful person. I think she's a terrible mayor. What fascinates me is, what does the election cycle look like after Muriel Bowser? Does the mayor campaign about fighting back against Trump? Do they try and leave Trump out of the election campaign? What happens there? I'm very curious. It's obviously going to be a Democrat mayor that replaces Muriel Bowser, but the campaign strategy I find fascinating, and it's something that we're going to be keeping our eyes on here at Super Talk 99.7 WTN. But yeah, just to recap, they are not, Muriel Bowser is not going to be seeking re-election. Gotta love it. I love
I'm
it
here for it.
I love it when things just kind of work themselves out.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously.
Do you think Karine Jean-Pierre would run for mayor in D.C.?
Oh, I hope not.
Do you think?
I hope not.
Why not?
I've had enough of her in Washington.
I think she'd be the best black female lesbian mayor D.C.'s ever had.
Obviously.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Is Bowser a lesbian?
I don't know.
Why don't you know that?
Because I'm used to Bowser being one that shoots fireballs at a plumber. We
Fair.
talk about this one too much.
Fair. That's a good movie.
It's a good one.
All right, time for one more story in the lightning round. Be honest with you. This one disappoints me.
Uh-oh.
There's nothing as American as Campbell's soup.
Nothing as American as Campbell's
It's super American.
It's a staple.
But a top Campbell soup executive is now in some hot water. Broth, some would say. He's in some hot broth. Because he's on record ranting about poor people. I get it. And how unhealthy Campbell's bioengineered food has become. Bioengineered food. He says that he doesn't eat the crap anymore because who wants to eat chicken noodle soup with 3D printed chicken?
Ooh.
I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Kimberly Gill. Those allegations are now at the center of a lawsuit claiming the company's vice president went on an hour-long tirade attacking the company's products and employees before taking aim at its customers.
And the former employee recorded it all. Eric Erickson shares that recording and what the company is saying about it.
So first of all, the former employee is doing this to hurt the guy. And I think that it's important to point out that you're kind of just helping Americans wake up to what's going on in the food industry. But here we go.
We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit?
And that's just part of an over an hour-long rant, says former security analyst for Campbell's, Robert Garza of Monroe.
I don't buy Campbell's products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it. Even in a can of soup, I look at it, look at meat, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
No, I do not, sir. And I will no longer be buying your 3D printed chicken noodle soup. Listen, he's in a lot of hot broth over these comments. But the ones that really stand out to me is, I don't eat this stuff anymore. Why would you eat this stuff? The chicken is from a 3D printer.
Man.
What are we doing in this country? What are we doing? That's gross.
Yeah, it's gross.
Everything's bioengineered now. Not a fan.
Maha better move faster.
Maha better just start kicking down doors at Campbell's. I want Bobby Kennedy to actually have laser eyes and just go in there and clean it up.
As I say, we might have to move Tom Homan over to the Maha movement after he's done with ice.
Yo, we might. We might need Tom Homan to get in there and muscle some things around. God bless him.
I'm here for it.
Me too. That does it for the lightning round. No bioengineered soup over the next few days. I'm going to be making real soup.
Real soup.
I'm going to be boiling them bones myself. I will.
Except the wishbone. Keep that one out.
Correct. 11:53. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's 11:57 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, how are you? It's Chris Hand. Show's brought to you by Better Water LLC, water filtration systems, water softeners, betterwater.com. Thankful for you guys. Thankful for this radio station. Thankful for this audience. We got Thanksgiving break on deck, and I'm thankful for the guy that's coming in next. We got a heck of a bench. Brian Wilson filling in for Chad Benson today.
Yeah.
Brian, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Are you ready for Thanksgiving?
We are like 93% there. I got to go get a couple last-minute things after I leave here.
Yeah, I got sent for a Vidalia onion and sweet potatoes for some reason today, and to help Cabana wife as she's doing. But I got to tell you, we can't decide whether it's Thanksgiving or Christmas at our house because the trees have been going up now for weeks.
We do the same thing. So we got, here's what we do. The dining room is exclusively Thanksgiving. And then Christmas has started throwing up everywhere else, but we won't get the official tree until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I understand. No, we don't. We have an allergy issue with trees, so we have fake trees, and we go ahead and put them up. It doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
But it's happening at my house, and it's going to be good. We're going to have our turkey and our cornbread dressing. And what else in the world can you possibly ask for?
The people are excited about the cornbread dressing. We've been getting text messages about it. I tell them, just go to the Fox website, just Google Brian Wilson
there,
cornbread dressing.
It's
Fox
astonishing
News.
that all these years, I mean, that was 20 years ago, and it's still there.
It stands the test of time, Mr.
does.
Wilson. So you got big plans for tomorrow. You're getting ready. What is the number one thing that you need on your plate?
Cornbread dressing with giblet gravy.
See, is it bad that I'm already past Thanksgiving and I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving sandwiches after the fact?
I mean, the leftovers are pretty good.
They're better than the first thing. Hey, 1 o'clock today. You're talking about aliens. Tell me about this.
Well, very quickly, we're going to be talking about the District 7 race right off the bat. And then in the 1 o'clock hour, because it is the day before Thanksgiving and things are moving a little slow and there's not a lot of news out there, we thought it might be good to revisit this documentary, Age of Disclosure. And it's $20 to watch the documentary. And a lot of people, they don't know whether they want to watch it or not. So I've gone through and pulled a bunch of stuff. Fascinating, eye-opening, a little bit alarming. It's worth your time, and we'll do that in the 1 o'clock hour.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to be listening. Brian Wilson's in next. I hope you have the best Thanksgiving with your family, with your friends, with your loved ones. God bless you guys. We'll see you on Monday. It's Super Talk 99.7 WTN.